I feel like diet culture sets you up to never be good enough.
Did you burn 500 calories on the treadmill today? No? Me either.
I mean, anybody can sit with us. We're just really not about diet culture.
But literally, happiness doesn't come from a low-calorie, high-intensity life. I actually do like carrots.
I do too. They're my favorite.
Welcome to the Fit Fueled Free podcast.
So basically, diets suck.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 39. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Jenna, and today we just wanted to talk about some things that Danielle and I have been doing during this quarantine to keep ourselves sane and just kind of talk about our routines and some meals that we like to make and that we've been testing and trying out. And then also just like share some good things that are going on during this season of life that maybe a lot of us either don't hear about or kind of have overlooked just with all of the chaos and fear that is going on with this pandemic. So it's going to be kind of a hodgepodge of things, but we wanted to keep it lighthearted and just share like how we're dealing with it because it's probably going to be the most relatable with you guys and stuff that you can resonate with the most. Probably just what a majority of us need right now. So
yeah, and I think even for us, like it was hard to think of something serious to talk about just because like mental capacity right now is just a little bit limited. I think. So it's been positive reprieve for everyone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what have you been cooking?
So at first we felt like we were like, what's the word? Like panic buying when all of this started because we didn't know. I mean, there were so many different like things that were coming out about if you were actually going to be able to leave your house or whatnot. And obviously like it's kind of insane to say you can't ever go to the grocery store, but like the fear in me was like, we have to get everything we can to like last us as long as possible. So we actually bought a lot of stuff that like I wouldn't buy on a regular basis just because. So for a while it was very boring, like, okay, throw a can of beans and like rice together with like chicken or frozen chicken. I felt like we were like apocalyptic eating almost, like as if we were in like a bunker. But now that we've kind of settled into like a new normal and realized that there's not really going to be much of a food scarcity, I'm kind of going back to like, okay, we can get what we want when we need it and like try different things. So we've honestly been doing a lot of crock pot meals just because one, it's easy, and two, it lasts super long. Mm-hmm. I tried this like Asian one the other day, which was actually pretty good. I was surprised because I don't normally like eating, this is gonna sound weird, but like I feel like crock pots remind me of like soup, which reminds me of winter. So the fact that it's like warm outside now, it's hard for me to like want to create warm meals, even though like the majority of food we probably eat at dinner is warm, even if it's not made in a crock pot.
I agree.
But it was like chicken. Yeah, that doesn't sound crazy.
No.
Okay. It was so easy. It was just like we put in chicken, 1 onion, bell peppers, rice, and then like garlic seasoning, salt, pepper, and some ginger, and then like poured half of a cup of like coconut aminos on it, and then like water over the rest of it to kind of like fill up the crock pot bowl so it wasn't, so it was like an even ratio with liquid and dry food. And it turned out really, really well, and I was surprised. I just kind of like threw it together. So we've been eating it as like stir fry bowls and like putting other vegetables on it or like avocado. And then last night we actually made it into like Asian tacos because we didn't have enough to make like full bowls. So we like added in like the tacos for like an extra carbohydrate source. And it was actually, it impressed both Landon and myself.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it was good. But then we've been doing, what else have we been doing? We like Mexican a lot. I think I probably shared that. So we have been doing like salsa chicken in the crock pot or like like Mexican bowls with like beans and corn and like salsa and guacamole, and either putting that on like nachos or again making tacos or making like taco bowls. Landon made a really good date night dinner last week for us. I don't remember if I shared this. We like dressed up for our date night because we do a date night every single Wednesday. Like it's like set in stone, and we like put our phones away and stuff. I probably shared that before. But we were like, we need to do something to like keep us somewhat sane as opposed to just like crashing on the couch and like watching Netflix, because like we're doing that a lot of the nights anyways these days. So we like dressed up, and Landon he went to the grocery store and got, I guess he was looking for like turkey, like ground turkey originally, but didn't find it. So he ended up getting like tuna steak that was like stupid cheap. So he like made these like tuna steaks for us and like threw together this like, it wasn't really a Greek salad, but it reminded me of a Greek salad. And then he like roasted a bunch of vegetables and got us like a little dessert. And I was like, and he like the original ingredients he wanted like weren't at the store, but he just like kind of threw this together. And I was like, the fact that like what you went to the store to find and didn't find it, what you put together, like I would have had no idea if you didn't tell me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yum.
What about you guys?
So we went to the store a week and a half ago. I'm thinking because I think we went to Target like 2 days later and got a few more things, but we went to Wegmans and just because we still have those coupons that I was talking about. So we filled our cart up with the goal of trying to buy enough stuff that would last for 2 weeks, because that's my goal, to try and be like doing the social distancing as much as possible. But I didn't have a plan because I didn't want to like take a list in and then not be able to get what we wanted. So I don't know if this is like smart or just fear, but I don't want to buy anything that isn't in a plastic package that I can't wipe down. So
I get that.
It was very limiting as far as like produce, but we got like a package of mushrooms, some leafy greens, carrots, like things like that. The apples were extremely expensive, so we didn't get any fresh fruit, but we did get bananas and avocado, so like things that you could like wipe down, and then a ton of frozen vegetables. But we actually did pretty decent with like finding things. The store was pretty well stocked. We were able to get some chicken. They didn't have, there was nothing that was missing when we went. We went at 8:30 on a Saturday, so that was really awesome. But we made these fish taco nachos.
I saw those on your Instagram.
Yeah. So I wanted to we got a mango from this Misfit produce box that my work sent for National Nutrition Month, and I wanted to make a mango salsa.
Yum.
And have it with some of my my frozen fish stock that I have. But we were like, something cheesy would be good. So I was like, what if we baked this cod and then put it on top of the nachos? And what Matt did was just chop up the mango and then pour a jar of regular salsa into it, but it made it so fresh, and it still like it wasn't overly sweet, but oh my gosh, it was so good. And then we made fresh guacamole, and we had sour cream, which was great because he just randomly suggested that we buy some, and I was like, we never have sour cream, but I was so thankful that we had that, and it was just so delicious. It was like restaurant quality.
That reminds me of the fish nachos they have at Yard House.
Oh yeah.
Landon always get like tuna nachos or something.
So that was exciting because that was a really good meal. And then we're doing some like pasta dishes. What else? We did something with chicken. I think we made some we did barbecue chicken that we made pulled barbecue sandwiches with, and had green beans and with that. And then I made a crock pot meal with black beans, corn, Beyond ground beef, because we had free coupons. Someone that one of Matt's customers gave him free Beyond Crumble coupons. So we got a whole pack for free, which was sweet. And I put that in the crock pot with like a jar of salsa, some cheese, like Mexican spices, and quinoa. So that was like a similar thing that you did, just like a dump.
Yeah.
And make that. And
did you put the quinoa in the crock pot for that?
I did. At first, when I checked on it, like all the quinoa wasn't cooked, but I added some more water and just stirred it, and then it came out okay.
Cool.
So yeah, those are the things we've been eating, but I've been pretty satisfied with our meals. I've been doing like random things for lunches, like throwing together salads, because I'm not usually home to make my lunch, so it's nice actually. And then yesterday we did baked potatoes with we took a can of chicken, added barbecue sauce, and then just stuffed that in the potatoes, and I added some broccoli and we put cheese on it. It was so good. And I also made like rice, roasted broccoli, and chickpeas with Tessemae's dressing as a bowl for lunch the other day.
Oh, man.
It was so simple, but it was delicious. I took a frozen bag of broccoli and roasted it, and it came out like really good.
You put like the actual frozen broccoli just straight into the oven?
Yeah. Huh. I learned recently that was like allowed, because I didn't know if it like would come out soggy or something, but it actually had a really good, and it got a little bit crisp. It like, yeah, it was delicious.
Oh, yeah, because we have a huge like 5-pound bag of like frozen broccoli in the freezer, because I didn't want to get broccoli that was just like out in the open. But we've been like steaming it, which is fine, but it's like soft, and that's not like my favorite way to eat it.
Yeah, I would try just whatever you normally do. I put it in for like 20 minutes, I think.
Okay, that's good to know.
Just olive oil and salt and pepper and garlic powder.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been, it's just kind of fun, because when we got back from the store and wiped everything down, I sat down and like wrote out 2 weeks of how to put it all together in meals so that we would like not have to go back to the store. And we're on track. Oh, we also have some frozen pizza.
Nice.
Wegmans has some good thin crust frozen pizza. So yeah, we're on track to go again on Friday. So I was pretty pumped, because that was like super weird for us to not go to the store so often.
Was it more than, I guess it was probably more than your weekly budget for the grocery store, but
oh yeah, by like
rated to like 2 weeks, and if it's lasting, then it evens out.
Plus we always eat out, so I'm quite certain we're saving money, even though we spend way more on groceries than we've never spent that much on groceries since we like here and had to stock up for the first time. But it's lasting 2 weeks. We haven't Matt has eaten out at work because they bought him food, but I haven't eaten out at all. I don't think, since I started working from home. I think we got takeout one night, but that was the first time we'd ordered takeout in a month, because we're trying to save money anyway. So I think it's ending up going to be saving a lot, even with going in there without like a total plan. But now that I know that Wegmans was pretty stocked, I might like make a list this time.
How are you doing without your Starbucks trips?
You know, I miss it. Like, I know that sounds really silly, but like genuinely, like I think about Starbucks a lot. I miss soy lattes. But I thought about door dashing it or Uber Eatsing, because Uber Eats, I think, is doing free delivery right now.
Oh,
one of them is one of the services. I don't remember. But then I was just thinking about how like I don't want a stranger touching. I was like, I would probably pour it in another cup. But part of the Starbucks experience is the Starbucks cup itself. So I was just like, I just would rather not.
I get it.
Yesterday, I almost like took us to one of the drive-through Starbucks, because I was like, I really could use one. I don't think I've had it in at least 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is like a record.
Yeah, there's a local place here called, well, you know it, Roast Rider. I'm obsessed with their coffee, and they're like a smaller, like locally owned business. They're not like a chain like Starbucks, and so they're still open. And I was like, I feel like I should support them.
Yeah.
Like last week, I was like, you know what? Because I like saw an Instagram post, and they were like, you can either like text this number your order and just like come in like when it's ready and pick it up, or you can like call and order in. So I was like, I'll just text. So I like texted my order. I like went in and there was like no one there, so it was fine. But I had the same like thought process of you, of like the whole cup issue. So I came home, I like took the black lid off, scrubbed it in the sink, sprayed the cardboard cup with like our cleaner, wiped it down, and then got like 2 sheets of paper towels and wrapped the entire cup with the paper towel and put a rubber band on it to keep the paper towel in place. And then I drank out of the cup because I was like, I like the experience of drinking it out of the to-go cup, so I'm not going to pour it in a mug, but I also don't want to touch the cardboard. So Landon came in and saw me like drinking out of like the cup with like paper towels and a rubber band, and he's like, was it worth it? I was like, for the coffee, yes, but I could have just poured it into a mug. And he was making fun of me, and I was like, yeah, this is slightly borderline psychotic, but it's fine. I'll drink out of my paper towel cup.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if I can go till June without having Starbucks. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
The cake. But yeah, we have
Folgers. Do you know this? Folgers.
I know what it is. I grew up, my dad drink, like that's all we had at home growing up, but we don't have it here.
It's actually like decent, but at first I was annoyed because it is not like coffee shop level coffee, which is evident by the price of it. It's like $3 for a canister, but I've gotten used to it now, and I'm using Silk's vanilla. I think you used it when you were here. But it's actually really good creamer, and I only use non-dairy creamer, just FYI people, because I take a long time drinking my coffee and I feel weird leaving milk out at room temperature. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. So
you could also get the Starbucks like ground coffee. That's what we have right now.
So the reason that I used to get that, but Wegmans, like we've been shopping there because of those coupons, and I don't want to go to multiple stores right now. They don't have the flavored one, and I like the Starbucks flavored ones because I actually don't like their regular coffee.
Gotcha.
I like their flavored coffee. So yeah. Anyway, maybe if Matt goes to Target, I'll get him to pick some of that up. But I've gotten used to it now. So it's like whenever I have Starbucks again, I'm going to be like, this is a gourmet treat.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for asking. I'm glad you had your Roast Riders. That's quite a story.
I know. It was a bit excessive. It's probably not worth, honestly, going back until all of this settles down with my whole cleaning process.
Yeah.
But it's nice to support local businesses.
Right.
Paranoid to have people touch my stuff.
Yeah, we got Bangkok Garden when we got Thai, and when Matt brought it in, I had him hold the bag, and I grabbed the takeout out of it, and I was like, okay. I didn't wipe the containers down, but I was like, now you go wash up and get rid of this.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's how we're living right now.
Yeah. It's so funny because like I wonder how many times, like, and I'm not saying we shouldn't be cautious, but like, I wonder how many times I've freaked out about something and there was literally no like concern.
I know.
In reality, but it's like, that's the thing, is you don't know, you can't see the germs. So
yeah,
better safe than sorry for sure.
Yeah. Well, there's still so many unknowns, definitely.
Right. Have you been making, I want you to talk about those things you made with the bark, because I didn't listen to your story with the volume on. I just was looking at them.
Yeah. So I made these gluten and dairy free like little cookies, muffins. I don't know what they are. They're not like, I don't know. It's a treat, whatever you want to call it. And my story, I said, I was like, before anyone questions why is it gluten and dairy free? It's like, because I've gotten questioned about that before. I was like, I'm not doing it because I think gluten and dairy are bad. I was like, I just have an autoimmune issue that gets triggered by gluten and dairy, so I try to limit that. But if you want to use dairy and like regular flour, by all means do it. But I had some like super ripe bananas, and I've been like wanting to make like a treat because I'm like, I'll like do a little bit of work, and then I'm like, okay, I want to like take a break because I think I was sharing the other week how I like haven't been having a ton of motivation. So I'm finding if I like set my timer, either study or like get some work done, and then I have something to like look forward to do, like when my break hits, it like motivates me that much more to like get my stuff done. So I've been wanting to make like a dessert, and so I'm like, okay, I can make, like, we didn't have a lot of ingredients, so I was like, what do I have at home without having to go to the store to make? And so I found a recipe on Instagram. I don't remember who it was from, but I was like, well, I need to use these ripe bananas because they're like so ripe to the point that like they're just gross and you don't want to eat them. So it literally was just like, I used 2 bananas because I thought it said 2 ripe bananas. I actually looked back at the recipe and it said 2 cups. So I don't know how many bananas equals 2 cups, but they still turned out fine. And then it's like a cup and a half of like flour. So I used almond flour, a 1/4 cup of flaxseed like meal, a 1/4 cup of either peanut butter or almond butter. And I like used both. So I did like half of almond, half of peanut butter, and then like baking powder, and I think that's it. So then you like mash it up. So it's like a consistency. I actually ended up adding in a little bit more than a cup and a half of flour because it was like so gooey that I was like, I'm not going to be able to get this in like balls. So I like added more flour just until it seemed a little bit more dry. And then the recipe called for chocolate chips, but I didn't have any, but I have these like JoJo's chocolate bar bark or whatever you want to call it. So I literally just like grabbed a bar and like broke it up into pieces and mixed it in with the dough. And then you just like make little balls of the dough and put it on a baking sheet and bake it I did like 10 minutes at 375. And they turned out pretty good. They're more like I think of them as like a little like breakfast. Like,
right.
That's what I've been having them as, or like a snack, like in between meals or like after dinner.
Nice.
And Landon really likes them, and he usually doesn't like any of the like makeshift stuff. Like if he's gonna have like a cookie, he's like, no, I want a cookie. But they turned out pretty good. So I burnt the first batch really bad because I cooked them for like 20 minutes because that's what the recipe said. And I was like, okay, I'll cut that in half. And so 10 or so minutes, they turned out really well.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So it's been fun to like experiment with things like that with like, okay, what do I have at home that I can to make like a meal or like a snack or something. So it's kind of like a little challenge that I've been trying to do with myself.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
I made the Rachel's Good Eats cookie skillet last night.
Oh, that one's so good.
I don't have collagen peptides right now though. I have just regular whey protein powder, and so I substituted it, and I think it like soaked up a lot of the liquid because when I poured it into the pan, it didn't cover the pan. It made like 3/4 of the pan, and I was like, it was very thick. So it came out good tasting, but it came out like scone consistency.
Oh, yeah.
Which was great. Matt said it was a 7 out of 10 for dessert, which was pretty decent for like it being like you said, like an alternative like ingredients. So yeah, next time I will leave out the protein powder because I feel like it messed up the consistency. But I like her recipes; they're good.
Yeah, she has a lot of good ones.
And then Matt made like a half batch of chocolate chip cookies the other night. It made like 8 of them. We ate them like on a plate while they were still like warm and gooey. It was so delicious. So yeah, we've been having a lot of dessert because we like dessert.
Yeah I feel like now's a good time to like experiment with like foods or like recipes because like we have an Instant Pot and I like haven't used it since we got it like 2 Christmases ago because I had a recipe which thought was going to take 15 minutes and it ended up taking over an hour. So I just got bitter and pissed off at it. So I like put it back in its box for the past 2 years. But now that we have like more time and like not much to do in the evening, Landon's like, all right, we're going to like break it out and like try out some new recipes. So we haven't done it yet, but that's like on our list of things to do. Cause I'm like, well, we have nothing better to do. So might as well experience with our cookware and try out some new meals.
Are you going to break the KitchenAid out?
Yeah, that's still in the box from our wedding. I need to. I know how much you use it, and like whenever I come over to your house and we bake, like it's what you use. I'm just not a big baker, I guess, but
it's the best thing ever.
I know. I'll have to have you like send me some recipes.
Well, it's not like KitchenAid specific recipes, but like, for example, I don't know if you guys ever eat mashed potatoes. We don't do it regularly, but we use it for that. We use it to make black bean burgers. I used it to make a chickpea cookie dough dip. Like, it has an attachment on it that's like a wire whisk. And if you turn the speed up high enough, it like pulverizes things. So a lot of things that I wouldn't say it's equivalent to a food processor because it's not, but it works. And then it's in a giant bowl because our food processor is like a cup one. It's so tiny, it's like useless. But yeah, I guess I do bake a lot. And like banana bread, we bake that regularly. So we do that in there. Like, I don't know. I just feel like we're constantly using it. But of course, when I bake, that's the main thing. But
maybe I will break that out.
It's not like, I guess it's just like a convenience thing because the bowl is big and it just like seems to keep the mess down.
Yeah.
And then when I'm done, I just put all of the things I used to bake with in the bowl, put it in the sink, get it rinsed off. Like, I don't know. It's just like, we were talking about that last night, how I think it probably is down to like cents per use at this point of the cost because I've had it for 9 years and I use it like all of the time.
Dang. Yeah.
So it's like my favorite appliance.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I recommend, but I guess if you're used to not having one, it seems like, why would you need it? But I just can't even describe to you other than what I just said. Why? Yeah. I guess I can describe because I did, but
yeah, no, I know.
I recommend it. Okay. I also put dates in smoothie for the first time, and that was really good
because it makes it sweet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yum.
Yeah, so it was fun. Some good cooking adventures because usually I put my creativity with food on the back burner because I just like don't care to deal with it when I'm busy.
Right.
So it's been kind of nice.
Yeah. Have you like, what does your daily routine look like recently? Have you tried to like get in like just like a habitual routine to like maintain and keep some type of normalcy, or like what does that look for you?
It's definitely been like really different because now that I don't have to like go anywhere to talk to people, I sometimes just like put yoga pants on and then like put a nice shirt on, or sometimes I even have a workout shirt on, but I put my jean jacket over it and you can't even tell.
Yeah.
I don't like, I have barely been wearing mascara because it just like, I don't know, I just don't feel the need to do a whole lot to myself. So it's just made my getting ready routine like so simple, which has been really nice because that is like I've shared that before. That's like a stressful part of my day is like trying to get dressed and out of the house. So not having to care about that really has been like the best thing ever. So that has been different, but sometimes I shower in the morning, sometimes I'm showering at night, which is like, cause I'm not going anywhere. So as long as I feel good and I am presentable, like it's not like I smell, like I shower if I'm stinky, like that, you know what I mean? Like it just, the pressure of that has been like just different because you don't have to think about your whole day being like ready for it. Because like Mondays I would be gone for like 12 hours sometimes, especially when I was coming over to watch that show with you. It was like my whole day I was gone, and now it's like, oh well, I can do what I want when I want. So I don't really know that I have a structured routine at all, other than I've been doing the dishes more every day because like we're cooking a lot more, so the kitchen's a mess, and I'm like getting myself ready for my coffee in the morning, and that's like my thing. But other than that, I feel like I've been pretty like relaxed. And in our evenings, we've been either watching Love Island or doing puzzles or doing the color by number app, going on walks. We did some stuff in the backyard yesterday. So yeah, I feel like I literally don't have a routine at all. Other than that, I know I have to be at work at a certain time, but I just walk into my office like a minute before I have to start my day.
Yeah.
What has yours ended up like since we talked last?
Yeah. So I'm trying to use this time to like let my body, like, because before I would like wake up super early, whether it was like to get into work or like do stuff before like the day really started. And I've been trying to kind of let my body reset in the sense. So I haven't been setting an alarm, which has been interesting because I used to always like jump out of bed first thing like before Landon, and now he's setting his alarm. I mean, his alarm is usually set anywhere between like 6 and 7 in the morning. So like his will go off and it'll like wake me up, but I'm trying to like give myself grace. And I'm like, if I don't feel like jumping out of bed first thing, I'll just kind of lay there and like maybe go back to sleep. And so I feel like it's been great for my body to like catch up on sleep that I didn't really even know I wasn't getting.
That's awesome.
Because like now that I've slowed down, I said this last episode, like when we slow down, if we've been like constantly on the go, like our bodies are actually like exhausted. We just don't have time to acknowledge it. And so I think that's how my body was just exhausted. And so I've been sleeping in anywhere between like 7 and 8:30, which I had to battle at first, like being like, oh, this is so lazy of me. But I feel like this is also a time where like if you can slow down and like turn inwards and like reflect and like use that time to like the forced time to slow down, it can be like really good and therapeutic for you. So so in the mornings, I've been like sleeping in a little bit more. I guess, kind of like you, I don't have like a set routine. I do need to keep a little bit of routine just for myself because I could easily not do anything all day, I'm finding, which again, I didn't really know that about myself until this happened, because usually I've had no issue like motivating or like making myself get stuff done. So I kind of need to have like a little bit of a plan, like every night before I go to bed, I'll kind of make like all right, Tuesday to-do list. Cause I'm like a huge list person. I've shared that. So like being able to like check something off is really good for me. So I'll do that. I don't really have like a set, like structured, okay, this is when you have to do this by. So that gives me like the freedom and the flexibility to like get it done when I want to, but also like give myself grace if it doesn't get done in the time frame that I like thought it should. So usually, like in the mornings I'll wake up, have coffee, do like a devotional or like read my Bible just so my head gets like in a good space, because I've been like trying to battle like more like fear and anxiety and stuff during this season. And then sometimes I'll work out in the mornings at home. Sometimes I'll like do that later in the day or not at all. Usually take Nala for a walk because she's like thinks that this quarantine time is like her time. And so she thinks like everybody's home and always around for her. So she's like super needy. So I'm like, all right, let's get her as tired as we can so I can be productive. But I've been studying a lot for my certification. Working on like stuff for my business and whatnot. And it's been interesting because I don't have as much to do. But in the evenings, we'll watch Netflix, trying not to like watch a ton because it can be so easy to like get sucked into that. But we've been going on walks a lot in the evening or like sitting out on our front porch. We don't really have any games, but like everyone's doing puzzles or like playing like games together. So I'm like, we should probably like look into that because we're not big game people, but I'm like, yeah, I don't want to just be like stuck watching TV every single night. So
last night we did the color by number thing and did a meditation before bed instead of watching TV. And it was actually really nice because I felt that like need to not be doing that.
yeah.
And I usually ignore it because I'm like, whatever, just another night, watch television. But it felt really nice to like disconnect from that and just like honor what I was interested in. That I'm obsessed with that app.
I don't think I know what that app is.
It's called Color Happy or Happy Color. I keep getting confused.
Maybe we talked about it last week.
I think I did. Yes. Happy Color.
Happy Color.
But it's like, here, I'll show it to you. It's color by number, but in the sense of, so this is the one that I'm doing right now.
Oh, whoa.
There's numbers at the bottom. So like if you click on them, the things will turn gray and then you touch it. I don't know if oh yeah, see, you like tap it, the ones that turn gray that correlate with the 18.
Whoa.
They all turn that color, and then once you get them all, then that number goes away and you go down. So like I really like the ones that have I'll put the link in the description so that everyone can find it. But I really like these ones. They're like called Blend. But they're so pretty. Like,
oh wow. That's so cool.
Yeah, and it takes like a while to do some of them because there's like 80 to 100 colors that you have to find.
Yeah.
But some of them are really easy, but it's just very like you're just in the zone.
Yeah.
Clicking on numbers that correspond with the color, and it's just like so simple and just like therapeutic. Like Matt really likes it. He's been doing it on his iPad. So it's like we do it together, but it's our own picture, and I just love it. So I have coloring books, but I don't like. I got mad because my colored pencils kept breaking.
Oh yeah.
And it just like my perfectionistic tendencies just got like heightened, and I got mad, and I haven't opened it in like 4 years. They're sitting on my shelf. So this was perfect because it doesn't like, it just does what it wants. I don't have to think about the color scheme not being perfect because it just is what it is.
Yeah.
So that's been like, I know it sounds silly for like a coloring app, but it's been like really a positive.
Yeah. It's like bringing out our inner children in us because we have to get creative. Like Landon and I made a fort the other night and we like hung out in it, and I was like, we've done it a couple times since being married, but I was like, I just feel like such a little kid when we like go into a fort.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I took one of our beach chairs. I think you've seen our chairs. They're like the ones that are like really low to the ground.
Yeah.
And I put a comforter over it, like one of our like knock around comforters that we use for like moving or just like whatever. And I threw it over it, and it made like it like a couch. Like it felt so cozy, and I just sat outside with Sawyer, and he was so happy that I was out there with him, and it was just nice because like I don't really take that. Even though I lay around like watching TV sometimes, I don't take that time to just be like present.
Yeah.
And I was doing some work on my healing relationship with food guides, but I still was like just existing outside and just felt so nice.
Yeah, I love that.
So I feel like that's stuff that I would not be doing if I wasn't forced to like just take it easy a little bit.
Yeah.
So that is something I'm a little bit grateful for, because it's nice to find some of those things, because those are stuff like those are things I can add to my toolkit for like future.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's been good. We haven't played games, I wouldn't say, other than like over like the party. Yeah. What's that Google? the house party app. I was playing with some of my friends in there, and then like we played over the computer, the Jackbox games.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I like my lack of routine, to be honest.
Yeah, it's probably good for some of us, for sure.
Yeah, so I could see where, like you're saying, but I think like with me I'm still working 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
I have that part of my day is routine, but I like this for now. I'm sure I'll start to want to add some more stuff in as I get deeper into this, but let me go let him out so he stops barking. I'll be right back. Okay, so the last thing we want to talk about today are some of the positive things that are going on right now. So there was a cool article that Elle.com put out that was 50 things that are 50 positive news stories you may have missed during the coronavirus outbreak. So we're just going to read through some of these because it is nice to hear of good things that are happening along with all the darkness.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with the ones you like, Jen?
Yeah. So I saw that in some like major landmark areas or just like bodies of water that a lot of the like oceans or rivers or whatever they are, like the water is becoming a lot more clear. There's not as much pollution, and like the like wildlife and like, you know, like the dolphins and stuff are like coming back like closer up to like where they used to live, which I think is just really cool, because I think since like everyone is like inside more, it's like the earth is it's like kind of healing to an extent from like all the damage that we have like done to it.
Yeah.
So to see like bodies of water that used to be brown are like now turning blue, and like fish and like are coming back, and like you can see them in the water. I don't know. I just think that's really cool, because I get so frustrated when I see like trash on the ground and like pollution. It just makes me so angry. And so the fact that like that is healing to an extent, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's good for all of us.
Yeah.
I like this one about the bride and groom donating food when their wedding reception had to get canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So they donated 400 meals to hospital staff. And I've seen several articles about that, actually, of like big events that already had purchased catering. They just gave it to someone who could use it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I've also seen a lot of stories, some people I like went to high school with or just have seen online, that got married and just eloped, and then they're going to have their reception later. But I just think that's so cool. Like, I totally understand people who are postponing their weddings. Like, that's your prerogative if you like want to have that party with your family. But I just love that because of how much like marriage is about, you know, your union and your union with God. And so like really you don't need anybody else there technically for that to still be like a beautiful magical thing. It's more like the wedding is more of a party, it's a ceremony, but it's not like what the actual marriage really is about. And so that made me happy to see that people are still able to like do that, because I can't even imagine how devastating. I have a lot of friends going through that right now, and like how devastated I would have been after all that planning if my wedding had to get postponed, and to think that like I wouldn't have gotten married. Like, that's the point of it all. So that just made my heart happy to hear that people are able to still like start their marriage.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I'm sure many people have seen this or heard of it, but like John Krasinski from The Office, he's doing like some good news series. And I haven't actually watched it, but my husband has, and I've heard a lot of people love it. And I guess he's like setting up like a video diary of good news that he's read about that like fans have sent in. And Lana was just telling us how one of them, I guess a girl like just finished chemo treatment and is in remission now. And she like went home, and she was like driving back home, like her street was filled with like her neighbors who were clapping for her and like had signs. And I think he's even doing like Zoom meetings apparently, and I think he like brought her on a Zoom meeting and got to talk to her, and I just think that's super cool.
That is awesome.
I love that.
I love all the videos I've seen of people like going to celebrate birthdays and dropping things off like in their front yard or singing from the other, like through the window, like so sweet.
I know. I like the sing along and dance alongs that you're seeing in like Italy or Spain. That's amazing. There's also people like clapping for like care, like the people on the front lines, like whether it's at the hospital or even if someone in your neighborhood is like, and you know, works in the medical field, like doing something for them. I think that's really powerful and probably very encouraging, because I know a lot of them in that field are feeling pretty isolated right now just because they can't really have contact with anyone when they come home, because a lot of them are exposed every time that they go into work. So to know that like your family and friends or just like people in your neighborhood like appreciate you and are like cheering you on is probably just really life-giving for those people.
But the hospital in my hometown, they showed a picture and people wrote signs like supporting the staff and put like grass signs and put them like all on the entryway of where the doctors drive in to work.
Awesome.
And yeah, that just made me happy to see that support. And they're like doing mask drives to like people to sew the mask and take them to the hospital. I'm sure that stuff's going on in a lot of places. It was just nice to see that was happening in my hometown.
Yeah.
Did you see the video about the penguins in the Chicago aquarium?
Yes, how they were letting them roam. It's amazing.
That was so beautiful.
I loved it.
I also saw a video of puppies that were going through an aquarium, and it just, it melted my heart.
Yeah, I know. It was so sweet. I also think it's really cool how like people are stepping up and like offering services for free on social media, whether it's a cooking class or like workouts or a workout class. I think I mean, I'm doing that, and I'm seeing a lot of other people do it as well. And I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it feels good. Like when I was talking about my guide with one of my friends, I was like, I don't know if I should ask for money for this because it is like a lot of my intelligence, but I was like, no, it feels better to give it out because I want to help for free. And not that if anyone charges for things right now that that's wrong or like I'm condemning. It's just like, it just feels good to be able to offer something up because like I'm stuck at home and you're stuck at home. So it's like, why not you know, just share some things we can do to offer anyone who needs that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that has been really nice to see.
Yeah.
It's cool how supermarkets are opening hours early just for older people to go into. That is really nice because I feel like the elderly population in our society really gets like the shit end of the stick in a lot of ways. They kind of just get written off, and a lot of them are put in these horrible nursing homes and like the veterans, and it's just like to remember that that population is very susceptible and like they need extra care and attention. Like we will be those people one day, you know? So I think it's like really important that we're remembering to help take care of them. Like I've seen people posting like colors in their window to like let their neighbors know if they need something because they're a vulnerable population that really, really can't be going anywhere.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, that makes me happy.
I know in our city, I just found this out, some of the hotels are like housing the homeless in our area. So that way they're not on the streets and they have, I mean, a place to sleep and like a shower. So they're not like as susceptible to contracting it, which
that's awesome.
Amazing.
It's funny. Like, I wonder, it's not really funny, but I'm using that as in like interesting. But when things go back to normal, the capacity or whatever the new normal will be, the capacity that we have had to help people, like, are we just going to turn that back off?
No.
Because, like, not to get too political here, but I know the way that our society works in America, like, it's kind of like what you earn basically is what you deserve. But during this pandemic, we're treating, I'm sure there's still some inequality and
yeah, for sure,
situations that aren't equitable, but it seems like we're looking at people more as general human beings right now than different class structures to a certain extent, right? And so like with that, with homeless people being allowed to go sleep in hotels to keep them safe, like, do they not deserve that help and protection when people are using hotels again? Because I don't agree with that. So if we can do this now, I just wonder like where the heart will be afterwards, because what homeless people, we want to take care of them now because there's a pandemic, but then as soon as it's over, what, we just want to like ignore them on the side of the street? Like, is that what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I'm very curious about some of that stuff. I just hope that we can continue being kinder.
Yeah.
Because when every single person is terrified for their life, it changes us, but we should always be respectful of those who are less fortunate and who need us, because we could be those people, right, any given second. So
I agree. Yeah.
We shall see.
I also know there's like celebrities who are donating a lot of money to funds or even doing like live concerts, which is awesome. I know like Elton John and I think Lady Gaga did one as well. Yeah. Lady Gaga also got the CEO of like Apple. I saw like a FaceTime video the other day of him agreeing to donate like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know the exact amount, what it was, but I'm pretty sure like Jimmy Fallon was either there on FaceTime as well, but he was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, and it was just like a conversation between him and Lady Gaga, which was really cool just to see like some of these celebrities like stepping up to help out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Apparently Dior and Givenchy factories in France are producing disinfectant gel instead of perfume right now.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. I love that. Like, I guess there's a lot of like factories that don't need to be producing certain things right now. So the fact that they're willing to do that is pretty cool.
Yeah. I just saw one that says alcohol brands are making hand sanitizer.
Oh, that's neat.
That is cool. It says, to help with the shortages, we have started working on making hand sanitizer at our distillery in Scotland. That's cool.
That is. I was joking with Matt about that the other day. If we run out of wipes, like start pouring vodka on paper towels. Like,
I mean, we haven't been able to find wipes in ever, so we're getting down to the last spray bottles. I'm like, what are we gonna do? But yeah, maybe go buy some vodka from the ABC store and clean the house.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I think like those are the main things that kind of show right now.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see some positive things going on.
Yeah. To focus on. So yeah. Not always be focused on negative.
Because after a certain point, it's like that is just gonna continually spiral you into a really bad place.
Especially if this is our new normal for a while, which might be the case.
Yeah. So I think I convinced Matt yesterday to use some of our stimulus money that's coming to get a blow-up pool for our backyard and to put down the little like patio squares. It's not like real decking or patio, but it's like you can get those squares and like to make a little seated space, because we're going to be spending a lot of time alone with this weather getting warm. And I was like, that just like, I was looking for different sales and stuff, and it was really affordable. And I'm trying to make like a little oasis in our backyard because we can't be going to the beach when it's getting warmer and everything like that. So I'm kind of excited to see that come together, because that's going to be like trying to make the most of, I know not everyone can spend a lot of money, but it really isn't costing very much to do. And that way we can have that little
it's so cool
getaway in our backyard.
Yeah.
So we'll
I
see
love
how
that.
comes.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Is there anything else on your mind today?
I don't think so. I think that's about it. What about you?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much covers it. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening today. We hope that you are all continuing to do well and hang in there, and just know that we're here for you. And we always appreciate subscription and rating and review on iTunes, just to help us reach more people. And if you need anything from us or have any questions, comments, concerns, fitfueledfree@gmail.com. And we're continuing to post our content on our Fit Fueled Free Instagram page. And like Jenna mentioned, she's doing workouts, offering a lot of free content there. So Jen at Fit, and then on my page, D Marlia L. I just always offer random things time to time. So you can give us a follow there if you're not already. And otherwise, we will talk to you next Friday.
Great. Bye, guys.